Howdy folks, my name's Reagan. Welcome back to the GWP Homestead. My shop is an absolute mess, and now that lumber prices have finally returned to earth, I'm going to build a few really simple shelves to fix that mess out there. Been needing to do this for probably over a year now, but just finally getting around to it. That's okay. After I cleaned up, the very first thing I did was secure the vertical pieces of the shelves, at least the back of it, to the shop. My shop's a post frame building, so I've got a board running down low, a board running across the middle, and then a board running up high. That'll keep the shelf from pulling away from the shop or ever having a chance to tip over. Just makes it nice and secure. Once that was done, I stacked my OSB. For my purpose, what I'm doing, I'm using 3 sheets. That'll end up making me a total of 9 shelves. So I stacked the 3 sheets on top of each other, and I measured 15 7/8 inches off of one edge. And by the time I make 2 cuts, I'm left with 9 total, 3 per 4x8 sheet of 15 7/8 pieces. I use a circular saw guide made specifically for my circular saw. Super handy. I use it all the time. That's about the only way I'll make a cut on on sheet goods. I'm not very good at making a straight cut without one, so I love using it. I use it all the time. My shelves are 8 feet long, and so I bought 8-foot 2x4s, but they're a little bit longer than 8 foot just coming from the store. So I trimmed them all up to 8 feet even. Did that. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of repetitive cuts, but once you get in the groove, you can move through it fairly quick. Once all those 8-foot lengths were cut, I cut the spacer boards at 13 inches. So again, basically I'm shooting for a 16-inch overall deep shelf. And so if you stack 2 2x4s side by side, measure out to get 16, you're left with 13 inches. 16 minus 3 is 13. So more cutting. I use a circular saw because once again, my shop is a mess, and it's harder to get to my miter saw right now than what it ought to be. Usually I would use my miter saw for repetitive cuts. Making 9 individual shelves is a very repetitive process, but the more you do it, as you go along, you'll find a process, or you'll get in a rhythm that works best for you. Because I only used 7/16 OSB, it was so much cheaper than 5/8. I put an extra intermediate spacer or support block inside the shelf, and for what I'm stacking on mine, that's plenty. These are only 16 inches deep. They're not made to hold up the world. I'm using them to store totes with keepsakes or whatever, just real simple storage. So it doesn't have to hold up the world. It just needs to hold up a few things and be strong enough to where I don't worry about anything falling down. I measured out the spacing I wanted, and then as I worked through it, I found a way really that works best for me for pulling everything back into square, and that is by securing the short end first, and then I can use a clamp to pull the long side of that OSB top in line and make everything nice and square. And that's the way that worked best for me, and I used as many clamps as I needed to just to make this process work as simply as possible. But the last thing I did whenever it came time to actually, I was almost done, I realized I could flip over the shelf and assemble everything on top of it. So you live and learn, no problem. It is what it is. Megan helped me with this first shelf, getting it put up, but after this I pretty much was able to do it all by myself. And again, that's just with the help of clamps and trying to figure out how to make as many extra hands as I could with the stuff that I had on hand. Megan being just about 8 months pregnant at the time of taking this video. She didn't need to be helping me too much with lifting heavy stuff, so I had to figure out how to do it on my own. Clamp everything up, level it, and then secure it to everything that could possibly support these shelves. I'm screwing it in, make everything nice and strong. I had one of these shelves I built last year, and of course I needed a lot more. So once I got that one done, everything, I mean, I really started moving at that point. There are many different ways you could build shelves like these, but for my money, this is just about as simple as you can get. Using a thin 7/16 inch OSB sheet makes this, for one, cheap, but two, they weren't really heavy, and I was able to maneuver them around by myself, and you know, it's kind of awkward, but I didn't wake up sore or anything the next day. So being able to maneuver that by myself, and certainly if you had another person helping, I think this would just be a breeze. And for what I'm storing on them, they're perfectly fine. I'm not storing transmissions or anvils or anything on these shelves. This is for Christmas decorations and kind of keepsake totes and whatever else that we need to throw on there. Once I had all the shelves put together, I grabbed my Sawzall and just lopped those wild ends of the front supports off, cleaned everything up, and made it look super nice and neat. And here's the finished product. For what I spent on this, and really for as long as I've put this project off, I am so happy with the finished results. I needed this project done a year ago, but I just, couldn't afford to do it, didn't want to do it with the price of lumber, and so, you know what, here we are, better late than never, right? But I'm really happy with how everything turned out. It looks so good, and I know I'm going to need probably about 8 more feet of shelf going down toward that open door of the shop that you see right there. I'll do that in the coming weeks, months, hopefully not too long, but that'll really help getting that in there. But just what we've done today, super helpful, super happy with the result. If you have any questions about anything I did, please drop a comment below. I'm happy to help answer any of those that you may have, and check the description too, because I'm trying to do a thorough write-up on all of our videos. If you enjoyed this, please like it and consider subscribing to the channel so you won't miss the next DIY, shop, farm project, or whatever else we might be getting into around here on the homestead. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all soon.